The ultimatum arrived on every human world simultaneously, broadcast from the massive Vortak command ships that had materialized in Earth's solar system like harbingers of judgment. Emperor Zekthol's image filled every screen across human space. 12 feet of armored reptilian fury, his scaled hide bearing the scars of 1,000 conquered worlds. Humans of the pathetic Soul Federation. His voice rumbled with the authority of absolute power. I am Emperor Zekthol of the Vortak Empire. We have observed your species for one solar rotation, and we find you adequate for servitude. Admiral Sarah Kane stood in the United Earth Command Center, watching the transmission with cold fury building in her chest. Around her, military leaders from across human space had gathered for what everyone knew would be humanity's darkest hour. You have exactly one planetary rotation to surrender unconditionally, Emperor Zekthol continued. Disarm your fleets, dissolve your governments, and prepare your worlds for integration into our empire. Those who comply will be granted the mercy of slavery. Those who resist will be exterminated. The transmission ended with a simple, arrogant addendum. Kneel and live as our servants. Resist and die as fools. Admiral Kane looked around the room at faces that reflected her own determination. These were the descendants of a species that had clawed its way up from cave-dwelling hunters to masters of stellar engineering. The heirs of people who had faced down ice ages, plagues, world wars, and the void of space itself. Gentlemen, ladies, she said quietly, I believe our response should be unambiguous. The reply humanity sent was not transmitted through communication arrays or diplomatic channels. Instead, it was delivered by the sudden appearance of the entire human battle fleet, emerging from hyperspace in perfect formation around the Vortak Armada. But these were not the ships the Vortak scouts had reported. During their year of observation, humanity had been busy. The vessels that surrounded the invaders bore whole configurations that seemed to bend light itself, weapon arrays that hummed with barely contained stellar energies, and drive signatures that suggested technologies beyond current galactic understanding. This is Admiral Kane of the United Earth Systems. Her voice echoed across all frequencies. You asked us to kneel. We declined. The first salvo from a human fleet didn't just destroy the Vortak ships. It demonstrated a level of technological advancement that made their year of observation look like the pathetic reconnaissance it was. Weapons that fired compressed singularities tore through enemy hulls like tissue paper. Shield systems that the Vortak had considered impenetrable collapsed under directed antimatter streams. Emperor Zekthol's flagship tried to retreat, but found its escape route blocked by something impossible. A human vessel that had somehow folded space to appear instantaneously in its path. You made a fundamental error, Emperor. Admiral Kane's voice came through the dying ship's communications. You assumed that because we appeared primitive, we were weak. You thought because we seemed divided, we were vulnerable. But most importantly, you fail to understand what happens when you threaten a species that spent its entire evolutionary history learning to kill things bigger than itself. The Vortak Empire had conquered 47 civilizations. Their military doctrine was based on overwhelming force and psychological intimidation. They had never encountered a species that responded to threats of enslavement with immediate, total war. What followed wasn't a battle. It was an extermination. Human fleets appeared simultaneously at every major Vortak world, each one carrying weapons that defied conventional physics. Planets that had served as symbols of Vortak power for millennia were reduced to cooling slag in hours. Their military installations, built to last for geological ages, were systematically dismantled by technologies that treated matter as a mere suggestion. The campaign lasted exactly 72 hours. By its end, the Vortak Empire, a civilization that had dominated 3-star sectors for over 2,000 years, no longer existed as a political entity. The final transmission from the human fleet was broadcast across all galactic frequencies to any species considering hostile action against humanity. The Vortak asked us to kneel. We introduced them to our alternative solution. Consider your choices carefully. The message was accompanied by detailed scans of 47 lifeless worlds where the Vorthak Empire used to be. No species in recorded galactic history had ever dared threaten humanity again.